Hi, welcome back to Open Hand Farm. I'm Penny, and today I just wanted to share with you some things that we're doing around the farm to get ready for garden season. One of the big things that we really needed to do was to split some firewood. We had to buy firewood this year, and we don't like doing that. The prices had really increased this year by like 3 times as much as what we had paid in the past. So we had some neighbors who had trees trimmed. We had some trees that had some branches fall off and then knock off some other branches from a tree. So we had them cut those up and just set them aside. So we had a pile of logs that were cut to size this way, but they were about this big around or bigger. And we knew that we needed to get it done pretty much in one day. We didn't want it to linger. So Mark went ahead and rented a log splitter. When we lived on our farm before, we had one. So he was kind of spoiled to not having to split by hand, which he has split some of it by hand, and we were able to use it for other purposes. But we decided that we just wanted to get the job done. There were so many other things that needed to be done around here. He did most of the splitting because he could lift the heavy logs and I really couldn't. Some of them I had to help him. They were so big and heavy, but he would split them. And then I had 2 wheelbarrows. I would have him throw the split wood into one of the wheelbarrows. And then when it got full enough, I would push it forward and put the other wheelbarrow in place. And I would take the full wheelbarrow over and stack the wood. We had no idea how much wood we really had there. So as the pile grew, I said, Mark, we're going to need another row for this. So I laid down some more boards to lay the split wood across so that it wasn't directly on the ground. And I built up another row. And then we had to do a 3rd row. It was great. We went out today and measured it, and a true cord of cut wood stacked is 128 cubic feet. We didn't have like nice straight sides to stack it against, so they kind of went like this. So we measured about here so that we didn't measure this because that would be much wider than this. So we thought that would kind of make the difference. And we ended up with 218 cubic feet. So we split almost a cord of wood in about 3.5 hours. So that wasn't bad at all. Another thing we've been doing is planting seeds. I did break down this year and buy a soil blocker. This is an 8-block soil blocker, and it definitely has a learning curve, but I really like it. My goal is that I will not have to up pot my seedlings once they get their true leaves, that they will just remain in that block until they're ready to go in the garden. So I have several things planted. I will plant some more tomorrow, but I've been having a trouble with soil. I bought some potting soil at Costco. It's Miracle-Gro, but it's organic, and I think it has fungus gnats in it. I have a bag of that, and I have a bag of compost that I ordered from Amazon. So what I did today is I took a scoop out of each of the bags and put them in a container, watered them, and then I set them in the greenhouse. So I'm gonna go down after a while and see if I can see gnats in one of them so that I can figure out who the culprit is. And then I will have to decide what I'm going to do. If it is the potting soil that has the gnats, then I'm gonna go back to what I did 2 years ago and make my own potting soil and add the compost to it. So I'm hoping that will work with the soil blockers. And I'll leave a card as to how I make my soil, and I'll put a link in the description box. But it worked really well for me. I just didn't know if it would work with the soil blockers. So I tried something different. So I might have to just go back and use what wasn't broken. I've been struggling with a vitamin D deficiency, which has really kicked me hard. And I haven't been able to do as much physical work as I would like to. So my greenhouse is still unfinished. So I have been going down in the afternoons and getting some work done in there. I went down last week and I filled all of the holes with putty. And then I went down another day and I sanded like a wall and a half. And then I started sanding around the window frames themselves. And I was going to sand some more today, but the kids were sleeping, so I couldn't do that. So instead, I decided to start working on the windows themselves. So I went around the frame with a toothbrush and then an old paintbrush to kind of clear off any loose paint that might be on there. And then I'll go back through and sand them. After I sand everything, I will go in and I will caulk in between all of the cracks where wood pieces come together so that it looks like one piece of wood instead of two or three coming together. And then I can paint, and then we can get the gravel in the floor, and then. So it's getting there. And I haven't put many plants in there yet because while I'm sanding, I don't want all of that sawdust to get on my tender, fragile plants. So I do have some sitting in there, but then I will move them out of the way when I start sanding again. They are enjoying the sunlight, I must say. My peppers especially loved the warm greenhouse. We're trying to figure out when we can get the garden tilled. We had planned on doing it this weekend. Mark has spring break starting tomorrow, actually. So we thought, okay, tomorrow and Friday we'll till the garden. Well, guess what? We have a 100% chance of rain tomorrow and then a slight chance for Friday. So we're hoping that it won't be too bad and we can try on Monday to get the tilling done. So along with the tilling, we need to cut back our cover crops and we need to remove the silage tarp off of our new bed so that we can get it tilled as well. So there's just a lot of little things that need to be done. I need to go in and probably trim back my blackberries. I don't think they like that -11 weather that we had for about a week. So I'm not seeing lots of life like I normally do at this point, but I am seeing some. So I think I'll just go in and trim some things back and see if that won't help. I don't know how my raspberries are going to be, so I probably need to look at those as well. Now, after we till, we have a friend that said we can come to his horse farm and pick up compost to put on the garden. So I have also been doing a lot of garden planning through these winter months so that I am prepared to know where to plant things and hopefully where the best place in the garden is for each individual vegetable. I decided this year because we have increased our garden beds and we're going to be planting about 4,200 square feet of garden. I would go ahead and graph out my garden beds and decide where things need to be planted. So I have a video up that explains all of that. I'll leave a card here and leave a link in the description box for you if you're interested to see how I did that. I've also been really busy just finishing up the pantry challenge. So we've just had a lot going on around here, but I just wanted to touch base and let you know the things we have been working on so that we can get this 2024 garden season up and running. Thanks a lot for coming along today. Please consider subscribing if you have not subscribed. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. That would really help my channel grow. If you know somebody that's a gardener, be sure and share the link to this video. Maybe they could glean information from my videos for their gardening season. Until next time, blessings on you and yours.